What's going on, YouTube? It's your backyard gardener, and I am coming to you today, October the 20th, 2018. To all of you that are from Michigan, happy Sweetest Day, and for those who are not, Sweetest Day in Michigan is like Valentine's Day nationally. It's pretty much a Michigan holiday. I think Chicago celebrates it too, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. It's been a while. Things have slowed down tremendously in the garden. I still have my figs in the greenhouse and some outside. I'm letting the frost hit them a couple of times to harden them off. And I'm going to talk to you about that. That's why this video is going to be important to you, because I'm going to teach you or show you how I propagate my fig cuttings. Now, the trees that you've been seeing outside over the summer that I've been showing you started out just like this last year around this time. And these are just wrapped up. I'm going to open them up, but these are just wrapped up cuttings that was cut off a tree, just like the ones outside. And this is what I need. This is what you need to start off. What I use is stagnant peat moss, because it's very good in draining, and it holds just the right amount of moisture, because you don't want to hold too much moisture because you're rotting out your cuttings. I like to use the clear cups because I can see right through them when my roots start to develop. I also like to use, see if I can focus in on that, rooting hormone, which is called Root Tech. Now, this will help start my roots to come up off of my my cuttings once I peel back that caveat layer. So this is the first thing that you're going to need. I use clear cups. You have your cuttings, you have your rooting hormone, you have your stagnant peat moss. Everybody do it different. This is how I do it. This is how I did it last year, and you see the success that I had out in the garden with my cuttings. So this is what you need. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to show you how we're going to put it all together. Okay, so I'm trying to give you guys the best angle possible so that I can show you how I'm going to do this. So let me zoom in just a little bit on this area. Alright, I think that should do it. Yes, okay. So, when propagating your cuttings, this is the JH Adriatic. Now, one thing you should know, and I'm going to tell you why this is important, because I'm going to do something special for my subscribers. I don't really like calling y'all my subscribers. It's more like my family. So I'm going to do something special for my family. Now, these cuttings, you see that part right there? This is the node. So how I know when my cutting is right side up or upside down, this little wide little piece right here, I say that's the mouth. The two little small pieces, I say it's the eye. See what I'm talking about right there? So that's the mouth. So we know that this is right side up. It's important because I made the mistake one time. Okay. So that's how you know if it's right. You know, the cutting is right side up. And that's important because a lot of your branches are going to start branching out. A lot of your leaves are going to start branching out, and they're going to branch upward. So you don't really want to have it upside down, or they go downwards, which if you happen to make that mistake, it's not the end of the world, because actually I can lay the cutting down like this and they're going to grow out either way because they're going to reach for the sun or reach for the light. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is take my knife and I want to peel back, not a lot, but that caveat layer, just right down to where you see the white and a little of the green on one side. And I want to shave it down on the other side like so. Then I want to take this, my root tech, which is my rooting hormone. Okay. Some people don't use this. I use it because I want the best chance possible, or the fastest chance that I can get. But before I do that, before I dip it in here, I want to first fill my cup up. Now, let me tell you something else that's very important. It's very important that you remember the name of your cutting, because if you have the opportunity to know what type of tree you have, what variety you have, is great. Because if not, you're going to be calling it an unknown or trying to find out what it is. So I know that this is a JH Adriatic cutting, because my buddy over at What the Figs on Facebook sent it to me, Dave and Herschel. So I'm going to write JH Adriatic. Like so. So, and every time, and I'm also going to put on here today's date, which is 10/20/18. So for my journaling purposes, I'll know when I started this cutting. And when I upgrade it to a bigger pot, I need to make sure I continue throughout the whole journey or the life of my plant, that I continue to write the name. Whether it's on a piece of painter's tape or black Sharpie marker, on the bucket. You've seen it out there. That's how I know the varieties, because there's a lot of different varieties of figs. And the more you know about the variety, the name of the variety, you'll know more about that fig. So now I'm going to put some of this, which is my stagnant peat moss. I got this from, big old arm in the way. I got this from Home Depot in the gardening department, about $4 or $5 a bag. I like to use stagnant peat moss to start my cuttings, to start my root development, because it doesn't hold the moisture. Also, something that's very important is we got to get holes in this cup. We have to have that drainage. So you can take a pair of scissors that I did not bring in here, and you just cut slits off the edges, or you can poke some holes in the bottom. Whichever one. I choose to poke holes in the bottoms because a lot of times when I'm watering them and that water is coming out, I'm watering multiple plants. So it'll go from one plant right into another, the way I have it set up. And as we get down the road, we'll see that. Let me see if I can do it with this knife. Yep. A little hole there without cutting myself. And it's a little hole there. Nothing special. They're holes. So you just want to make sure you have plenty of drainage, because again, you do not want your cutting sitting in wet soil for a long period of time, because it will rot out and mold out your cutting. Alright, so we got some nice little drainage holes under there. So we're good to go on the drainage holes. I normally will wet my peat moss, but didn't bring the water over here. But we're going to keep it going. And I'm going to water these after the fact. So we got that. The cutting. This is the gel rooting hormone. They have Clonex, which is really good. And I got this from the hydroponic store. So you can order it offline, but I have a hydroponic store in my area, and it doesn't, this a little bit goes a long way. You ain't got to really be basing it all up like that, because you just want these sides. Take the cutting, set that to the side because I forgot another step. Paraffin. This is important to me, and it's going to be important to you. I can get it started in the right spot, because this, let's take this piece off, is going to stop my cutting at the top from drying out. So all I do is take the cutting on the uncut side, put a piece of paraffin, hold it down with my thumb, and just start wrapping. Don't take a whole lot. Some people cover the node. If you happen to, it's fine. They'll still branch out. But right now, I'm not going for branching out. I'm going for root development. I do not want these to start budding, because I want all the energy to focus on the root development of my plant. So I don't want these nodes to start budding out on me. So I'm putting them in a dark place. Prior to that, a lot of people use a candle, unscented wax, and they'll just dip it in the candle, let it dry, and that'll hold the moisture in your cutting. So let's go all over the place. We dipped it already, both sides. Now guess what we do next? All we do, I stick my finger down in there, make me a little hole, and I stick that cutting in there. And that's pretty much it. I don't have to fill my cup all the way up. That ain't necessary either. Actually, this cup is a little big, but I need that clear cut, because guess what? Hopefully in a week, I'm going to start seeing roots. And they're going to start peeping outside of this peat moss. So I wet this down. I'll put it in, I have a little tote that I use. I put all my cuttings in. And that's it. My next one I'm going to do is Aeroid. Not going to do it on film. Well, maybe I will, just in case you missed it. This is going to be important, especially if you're thinking about getting into figs. The thing that I like about figs is I can find them in my store at a certain time of the year, but they're very expensive. Very expensive. And they're not quite right, because it's best to be a home grower for figs, because the shelf life in the store, either you're going to ship them before they're ripe, or you're going to ship them when they're ripe, and by the time they get to where they're going, they're going to not be any good. So I'm just thankful that I'm growing them at home. That's one fruit that should be homegrown, is a fig, because you can pick it right at the exact perfect time to get that full flavor benefit. Remember, we're going to write the name, we're going to write the date. Sometimes if it's a special person that gave it to me, like Ben B that gave me a fig, I know my I-258, Ben B gave it to me, and it's doing well. I don't know that fig is my BNBI 258. Okay, I'm sorry. My granddaughter was at the door, but this is the Aurora. Yeah, and it's basically the same thing. Put the name on it. I put my date on it. I put my stagnant peat moss in there. I take my knife. I make sure that the big 2 eyes, sometimes 1 eye. And this one is pretty easy. You can see them going up. And these are some really nice thick cuttings. I peel back that caveat layer on each side. Like so. And I'll take my paraffin. And take the thumb, press down and just pull it, stretch it right on around there. No biggie. It's not rocket scientist. You just want to keep that moisture in that cutting, and see by this one having 2 cuts, I think I'm going to do that part too. And I think this is going to be a real nice tree the way that this was cut. This branch was cut. There you go. Like so. Alright, let's dip it. Now, even though the growing season is over, we're still going to be growing throughout the winter with these figs. And if you are a subscriber to my channel and a part of my growing family, I want you to comment down below and let me know if you would like for me to send you some cuttings so that you can do the very same thing that I'm doing. And I'll send you some cuttings out. I'll mail you some cuttings out. I'm going to enter my my Gmail in the description box for you to contact me. Just say, Backyard Gardener, I'm interested in growing figs. And this time, over the summer, over the winter, we'll walk through this together, because I'll do updates on the videos. I probably water these maybe every time the soil gets dry. But, like, again, you don't want your soil sopping wet. That's why I put so many drainage holes in there. You just don't want it, because it's going to rotten this cutting right on out, and that's going to be, it's going to mold. So we're going to put these in a dark place. I think last year I put them in a tote and I just covered them up with a towel. I put the top on the tote. I had a kind of a tall tote and covered it up with a towel. Then once I start getting my roots as strong as I want them, which I'll take you on that journey with these 3 figs, because I got more cuttings coming in, and I got trees in the backyard that I'm going to send out to you guys that I'm going to cut, and I'm going to take you out there with me on that journey too. So I have a lot more coming up, but it's going to basically be about figs. Also, one of my subscribers, Flat Family, had suggested that I do propagating, not propagating, but cutting back my pepper plants, covering them up. And I think I'm going to stick them in my greenhouse and see if they'll come back next year. Installate them, cover them up good, maybe with some leaves or something to kind of mulch them in, and then the greenhouse will protect them. And see if they will come back next year. TT. So TT, I am going to try that. I never tried it before, but I'm willing to give it a try. Here in Michigan, we get like real cold last year, all my figs died when I stored them away. And I wrapped them with burlap sack and everything, but I put them in my shed. I didn't put them in my garage. This year, I'm actually putting them in my basement. So I'm not taking any chances because I have some very expensive varieties out there right now, and I want to get a chance to taste the fruits of my labor. And that Italian 258, my Cadota, and my Italian, Golden Italian. I'm looking forward to tasting those. I'm looking forward to tasting the JH Adriatic and or but yeah, if you're interested in growing figs, Linda, New Orleans gardener, I wanna send you some figs. So if you give me your address, some cuttings, give me your address, and my I'm gonna put my Gmail address in the description box. Gmail me. I'll send you out some cuttings. I know that Garden City is already growing figs. TT, I'll send you out some cuttings if you want. Anybody that basically Gmail me, I'm going to try to get you out some cuttings until I run out. I'm going to send them till I run out. Tara P, Sunny's Garden, I'm going to send you guys out some cuttings. And let's get a taste of the figs. Also, I got some new things that I've already have. I got, I'm growing olive tree. A gentleman, Mark, off one of the groups, gave me a beautiful olive plant. Actually, he gave me 2 olive plants. I've never grown them before. He said I could continue to grow them in the house. Right now, they're in my greenhouse. I'm going to bring those in. I have some stuff that I bought off eBay for the fungus nets. The thing about transferring outdoor plants indoors is those fungus nets do not play at all. So it's like I gotta kind of be careful with that. And then I have other little bugs and stuff inside of my pots out there too. So this I got off of eBay. It's supposed to be like a fungus net control. Very expensive, but it's supposed to be really, really good, and it kills off the larvae that's in the plants, and it's supposed to be organic. And another gentleman at the hydroponic store had gave me some more stuff as well that he said was really, really good. But very expensive. This is a sample he gave me. A bottle a little bit bigger than this was like $40-something, but this is called tea drips. And this is supposed to be really good too. And a little bit goes a long way. So I have to treat my plants outside before I bring them inside, because I do not want a house full of gnats. And I bought some traps for the little aphid, white flies, sticky traps also, to just sit on the fork and sit down in my pot to catch anything that might be flying around, because I can't do the bugs in the house. So that's it. This is your backyard gardener saying happy gardening, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. I know it's been a while, but it's so cold here. We're like, we go down to 34 degrees at night a couple of days. And today we had an ice storm. It's Saturday today. We had an ice storm this morning. Hail was coming down. It was thundering outside. It's all kind of crazy weather. So trying to make sure that I stay healthy through this fall winter season and stay busy. Happy gardening, everybody.